It is truly an honor to congratulate Jorge Ramos and María Elena Salinas, recipients of the 42nd Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism. For nearly 3 decades, Jorge and María Elena didn't just anchor Noticiero Univision, they shaped Spanish language journalism in this country.
From day one, it was clear that they both had the talent and the passion and a commitment to the truth and excellence in journalism. With this dynamic duo at the helm, Univision Network News program soared to new heights, becoming the most respected Spanish news organization in the country.
I have worked with both Jorge and Maria, Elena, and anyone who knows them knows they understand a fundamental part of journalism is staying true to the facts and that trust is earned.
No one, and I mean no one, has been more influential and empowering to our Hispanic community and beyond than the two of you.
If I had to describe myself, I would say, first of all, I am a mother, the mother of Julia and Gabby. I am Mexican-American, daughter of Mexican immigrants, and I am an independent journalist.
I'm an immigrant first and an independent journalist, which is incredibly important. I didn't want to be a journalist. I wanted to be a psychologist or a professor at a university. And I needed money to pay for college. There was an opportunity at a radio station. They hired me first as an assistant. I moved up from the radio station to the TV station. I remember doing my third report and they censored it completely. So I said, I don't want to be a censored journalist. Got a red Volkswagen, got a few $100s, got accepted at UCLA Extension and came to the United States. And after that, then I started working for Univision, maybe about a year later.
I was born in Los Angeles. My parents are Mexican immigrants, and I was working in radio, just like Jorge was. And an opportunity came up for Channel 34 in Los Angeles. That was then part of the Spanish International Network. I was very shy. It was very difficult for me to be in front of a camera because Spanish language media was very young. The Latino community was very small and growing. I always felt that I was reporting to a community that I was part of because just like them, I was also the daughter of immigrants. You know, just like them, I had to start working at 14 to help them pay the rent. I had to translate for my mother. So I really felt the connection with the community that I was reporting to. And then it all happened after that.
When I first arrived in the 1980s, there were about 15 million Latinos. Right now it's almost 70 million. And then the Latino wave came, and from not knowing who we were, then everybody knew who we were.
We had worked together at Channel 34. We were doing our individual shows at the time. And then I think it was towards the end of '87 when the news director decided to pair us up. And he said, okay, how are we going to do this? You know, we both sit on the same chair. And he said, it doesn't matter, I can sit on any chair.
She liked the left side. That's why she's sitting right where she is. Right?
Yeah, I sat on this side. You lead one day, I lead the next day. What about interviews? You do one interview, I do another interview. Uno y uno, 1 and 1. So we split it.
We did it for 30 years together, right? So it goes beyond just words. Just by looking at her, I know exactly what she's going to be doing next. No, on the air. Off the air, I don't know.
Some of the stories that have resonated with me and have stayed with me and that emotionally affected me the most were natural disasters, because I always felt guilty whenever I came back from covering a natural disaster. You know, they lost everything. They lost their family, they lost their home, they lost their livelihood. And now the news is off to another headline. Those are the first things that pop into my mind.
I was in Iraq at the beginning of the war. We couldn't get in. It was incredibly dangerous. So I came back. It was her turn to go to the war. And not only she came into Iraq, she went all the way to Baghdad in the middle of the war. I don't know how you did it.
It's just like you don't think that it's dangerous when you're doing it, because the thing that you think of is we have to get our story out. You know, that's the most important thing. Maybe before, maybe after, you say, oh my God, wait, how could I do that? Especially because my daughters, and I know that your children also, we don't think how they are affected by the dangerous things that we cover.
Once I remember I did something incredibly stupid after 9/11, then the war in Afghanistan. TV station, they didn't want me to go because it was very dangerous. So I asked for vacation time and went on my vacation time to Pakistan, and then we drove all the way to Tora Bora, where Osama bin Laden was supposed to be. And I had to hire 3 rebels to take me to the mountains. and one of the rebels started playing with his rifle, and then he pointed it to my face, and then he said, "I'm a follower of Osama." Before, a few journalists had been killed on that same road. So I remember that someone at CNN had told me, just bring a lot of $1 bills, because they had never seen $1 bills in that part of Afghanistan. I took, I think, $10, $15 $1 bills, and then I gave them to him, and then he saw them probably for the first time he had seen US money. Then he pushed me with his rifle and he let me go. So my life was worth 15.
$1?
Maybe 15. The most dangerous ones are the best interviews.
I think that the best era was the late 80s, early 90s, when Latin America was transitioning for the first time from a military dictatorship to a civilian. And that happened so many times. So I think we were able to witness history in the making. And that was so interesting, whether it was Argentina, in Central America. I remember interviewing Efraín Ríos Montt, who was a military dictator for a while. And when I went to interview him, he was running for president. He said, "What are you gonna ask me, how many people I killed?" So I asked him, "How many people did you kill?" He said, "I'm not an ogre. We didn't kill anybody. We just eliminated the base of support for the guerrillas." That's not what that was, like half the country. They were monsters.
Yeah.
They were real monsters.
What surprised me the most was when I did an interview in 2019 with Nicolás Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela. Nobody gives you an interview. They think they're gonna lose. They always want something to be gained. And I remember asking him, my first question is, "Are you a dictator?"
Usted sabe, usted no es el presidente legítimo. Entonces, ¿cómo le llamo? Para ellos, usted es un dictador.
¿Tú reconoces qué es esto?
Claro, por supuesto,
La Constitución. Me tienes que llamar como dice la Constitución. Yo me llamo Nicolás, un solo nombre tengo. Nicolás Maduro Moro, soy un obrero.
Obviously, he didn't like that. And then it only lasted 17 minutes. At the end, they decided to stop the interview. Somebody from his team came in and said, "This is not the interview that we had authorized." I don't know what they had in mind. And then they arrested us. They arrested the team in Caracas, Venezuela, in the palace in Miraflores. They stole our cameras and the video cards, and we were deported 24 hours later. So we lost the cameras, we lost the interview, we lost the video cards, we lost absolutely everything just because we wanted to ask questions. But what happened at the end, the beautiful part of it, is that the government, the dictatorship, they were recording the interview at the same time. And then somebody from the government, they did an inside job, and he recouped the interview for us. And he sent us the interview that they had filmed, not the one that we had filmed. And that's the one we were able to broadcast in the United States. I think as a journalist, you have to take a stand sometimes, not always, but sometimes, when it comes to racism, discrimination, corruption, public lies, violation of human rights, dictatorships, or the destruction of the environment. I think you have to take a stand. It's not the same to interview a dictator than a victim of his dictatorship. And I think that if we don't do that now, then I don't think we're doing our job.
When you think about it, everyone advocates for what they're covering. If you cover women's issues, you're going to advocate for women and for the issues that are important to them. We covered the Latino community, and we're always going to be advocating for them.
Yeah, I believe journalism is a public service. And in that sense, I think as journalists, we have the responsibility of giving voice to those who don't have a voice.
Walter Cronkite was someone who you had to admire for his journalistic integrity. And when people think of us, that they think that we had at least integrity and credibility. I don't care if they say that we were good or not good. It's just the most important thing is the integrity and that you really cared about the people you were reporting to. I would like to be remembered as someone who loved her community and who always worked to empower her community. To me, that's one of the most important things that I have done professionally.
When people come to you and say, "Te creo," I believe you. That's the most important thing. And with Walter Cronkite, it was exactly that, the credibility. Something that I always admire him is that he took a stand during the Vietnam War. He took a stand with truth, with facts. We have to challenge those who are in power. And when he had to, he did. Use your voice, Use it. This is not a profession for people who want to be silent. Democracy, it's at stake right now.
One of the first things that authoritarian governments do is try to silence the media. And It worries me that that's happening here. An uninformed society is a society that is vulnerable to the abuse of those in power. What gives me hope is this generation, because I think this generation is going to reinvent the way we do news and defend our democracy.
Congratulations, Jorge and María Elena. This award is very, very well deserved.
Congratulations, María Elena and Jorge. We're so proud of you.
Congratulations, Mom and Jorge. You're both absolute icons.
This Walter Cronkite Award is such a fitting tribute to your lifelong dedication to truth, accountability, and giving a voice to the voiceless.
You were doing what we all strive for as journalists, what we can't take for granted anymore, which is gaining the trust of your community.
You have earned that trust by being authentic, compassionate, transparent. And when news broke, you were the ones calling the newsroom saying, "I'm on my way," or "Get me on the first flight out." Jorge, when 9/11 happened and no planes were flying over the United States, you decided to drive with your crew nonstop from Miami to New York in order to get there. And María Elena, I still remember your gutsy jailhouse interview in El Salvador with a notorious leader of the Mara Salvatrucha gang.
I cannot think of anyone more deserving of the Cronkite Award than Jorge and María Elena.
What I love about what we get to do is every day there is always a good story to tell, and I'm so glad that the two of you will continue to be at the forefront of telling the stories that we all need to hear.
I've seen my entire life your work ethic, your commitment to the truth, your commitment to the Latino community, and just the way that you lead with strength and empathy and truly inspire so many people.
Thank you for your leadership, your legacy, and your enduring impact on our profession. Felicidades, los quiero mucho.
You have made such an impact on today, but also paving the way for our future, like me.
Jorge and María Elena, congratulations on this well-deserved honor. And thank you to the Cronkite School for continuing to honor the best in journalism. You really got this one right.